Hello and welcome back to Etruria. Right, we are just going to connect up to our grain trailer here because the harvester is still cracking on with the harvest, as you'd expect it to do. But nearing full, the beacons are on, so we have to get that sorted. We are making some really good progress here with the harvest, I will admit, and it is nice to have, all of this this grain that we'll eventually need to feed the chickens, which I'm hoping we will be able to get sorted very soon indeed. Right, look at that. Look at the hill. Look at the topography of the hill as well. It's quite the hilly field, I will admit. But here, we'll just get this unloading as we're driving, so that we can. It's a very small trailer, so we've got to be quite accurate with it. Come on. Oh, nice. Yeah, we do want to get it filled up to 8,000 litres. We do have a few trailer mods that we can look to in the future. I think right now there's not a lot we need to buy for kit, and as I've said, I'm quite keen on leasing out. Come on, lease, come on. There we go. Leasing out as much kit as we need to get us really started, to be honest. There is another very nice mod that I have that I'm very tempted to consider using, and that is the I do apologize, I can't remember exactly your comment name on YouTube, but I have used this in the past, and it is where you can lease out productions, which is a really cool feature that I'd like to potentially look into for this series, because it will allow us the opportunity to try a few different things. Now, to start, I think, I really don't know actually. It depends on how much grain we get and how much grain the chickens will eat, because at this point, I mean, we've got, actually we can have a look. Let's have a cheeky peek and see where we're at. I don't have the least mod just yet. Okay, where are we going? Here we are. We have 29,000 litres. That's quite a bit for, especially for 30 chickens. So I don't know if we're going to be using that for just for chickens, or if we will consider using that for productions as well. But right, I think we should probably do at least one path down with the harvester here, just so we can get it emptied and start baling. So we do have to get this field baled as well. I know we did a fair bit of baling in the last one there, but we definitely need to get some more done. We've got loads of bales in. But yeah, I have to double check all that and see. One idea though, that someone commented, that again, I do apologize, just remembering now that there was a comment about this. Someone said to use part of the field as our own little grape vineyard, basically. Wine, like a vineyard, proper grape orchard. Now, that would be wicked, but no, I won't do grapes, but I'm very tempted to do apples, because that is something that is new to the map, and we've got a bit of kit that we can actually use as well, as far as getting it, I guess, started, getting that production away. Come on, this hill is quite a hill. Come on now. Oh, no, okay. Come on. There we go. That is a wicked hill. This tract is powerful, but when you get it on an incline like this, I mean, look at that. Look, it's massive. Massive incline. Anyways, get as much grain into here as we can. I don't think it'll fill it. Will it? Now I'm rhyming. Okay. Right, let's get this just tucked out the way. That's not our grass, so we will avoid driving on it if we can. But we should get straight in with the baler. Now, there are some sections that have not been completed, not been harvested, I should say. So we will have to come back a bit and get that sorted. But yeah, as I was saying before, and I've said a lot so far, I've just rambled on, as you do. I do have a fair bit of kit that I want to use, but it's just a matter of when we need it versus when we can afford it as well. So until then, we'll just use what we have, which is absolutely fine by me. Right, we'll get straight in. Another comment I had as well was about the basically the sound, the volume of the kit versus my voice. Now, there's a couple of factors here. I have changed it. I have actually changed it in my recording software to pick up less of the in-game sounds. So please do let me know if that's actually helped. But also I find that the mic in questions, the mic that I'm using for my voice, I am not always at the same range. Sometimes I'm over here, it's a bit quiet. Sometimes I'm a bit closer and it's a bit louder. So I'm trying to focus on staying in one position. So that's sometimes why you will hear a difference in my voice, is because I'm positioned differently, essentially. I think that's the most of what I wanted to get sort of yammering on about. Destroyed some crop, that's fine. Here, we'll go and get this outside bit first. Well, most of it. As for apples, I need to double check, but I don't think we can actually do anything with them until spring. So we won't be able to put in any sort of apple orchard just yet. But that's fine, because I really don't know where I'd want to put them anyways. Should we go around the headland first? Yes. It might conflict with the harvester, but it should be. We have such little left to harvest, it should be fine. But yes, please do let me know where you reckon it would be best. Obviously we have two fairly large fields, so I don't mind taking a decent chunk out of one of them to be able to fit in an apple orchard. I just don't know which one would be best. Now this one's many hills, so I think this one might be best to keep as one big field, especially if we're doing a cash crop. We want I would say we'd want our biggest field to be fully fully arable, I should say. That being said, for the other field, it also has a hill, but it also has less, I don't know, I'll show you as soon as we're unloading this bale. I'll pop open the map. Right, we don't need to destroy any crop here, so we'll open the map and show. So I mean, if we were to cut this field, that would make sense actually, but here, do you know what I mean? It's just that we have that fence that goes all the way around, so turning around with a harvester might be a bit difficult. So maybe this field would be the better option. Yeah, we might have to have a look at that. I'm not, as I say, I was going to say I'm not too fussed on these little patches that I've missed, but clearly I am since I've gone over them. But yeah, maybe it could work out actually that this field is what we use for our apple orchard. It's not going to be massive, not in the beginning at least, but maybe down there. I know it's quite hilly, and there are trees round, but it could actually work out really well that we use that section that we're approaching on now. So kind of like from right here where the field kind of starts to curve away, and then down, but it is quite a hill, but with the right tractor and if we have enough power with it, even with the trail behind Swan harvester, I think it would work out fine, to be completely honest. And then yeah, the trees don't interfere too much, which is also very handy. Right, there we go, harvest completed. Oh, just in time for the rain. Now I think we can crack on with the baling to ensure that we get as much of this straw baled before the rain really kicks off, but at least the harvest is done. So you know what, I think that's what we'll do. I know we did a bit of a time lapse with the baling in the last episode, but it's a job that needs doing, and it's a job that I'm not going to ramble on about the whole time. So yeah, I think without further ado, let's crack on with the baling time lapse. Alright, well that has taken a bit longer than I initially thought it would, to be completely honest, but at least we are nearing the end of the baling, and it's been a bit of a drizzle, so if it was a bit, honestly, if it was a bit more, if we were keeping the straw, then maybe I'd have been a bit more diligent about the straw baling in this drizzling, but it's not so bad. In first person it is a bit difficult to see where the swaths are. One thing I noticed as well is that when you have a helper using, harvesting I should say, I find that they are a bit more careless when it comes to where the swath goes. Obviously they would be, but yeah, that was one thing that I noticed as well, is that the swaths in this field are a bit more scattered, I find, than the swaths from the field that I harvested, and that's probably why, because the AI, they'll just turn wherever they so choose. Now I do realise as well that we've left the grain cart out in the rain. Luckily, the wheat is fairly impervious to becoming wet, so that's good, right? So that's nothing to worry about. Right, we'll get this, we'll get these little sections here, and then we'll shift the harvester out of the way. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a full bale, so what I'll do in the meantime here is just quickly get the rest of the straw collected into the baler, and then we'll be able to get the baler returned before we do want to get it returned for the end of the day, because we will incur another cost beyond what's currently there. The rest of the wheat we won't be able to harvest until the rain has fully stopped, but that's fine because we are nearly done anyways. A couple of very, very small patches, but the rain should cease soon. But in the meantime, as I say, I will go around and just collect the rest of this straw. Alright, well, the rain is still cracking on, so we did lose a small bit of yield on those patches that we had to harvest, but very minuscule amount that we even need to do in the first place, so that's really not a big problem. Right, we do have about half a bale in the baler, but we are all done, no more straw left, so we will unload that. We can unload it early, which is a very nice mod to have, where we can unload an unfinished bale, so it might look the same, as you can see, but it is not a full bale, as you can see, 3,595 instead of the 7,500 that we'd normally get. Now I will just stick the baler here to the side, because now we're all done with it, so we will be returning it to the shop before the end of the evening, because we want to ensure that we don't get charged more. Oh, look at this amazing sunset coming. Very, very nice. Now, as I said, luckily this wheat is fairly impervious to the rain, which is very good. So we're going to fill up the rest of what's in the combine into the trailer here, and then we can get that sorted, and and get it drying out at least. So that's really good to do before we tuck it away. Okay, now we'll get into the harvester and unload it. Should be perfectly lined up. Look at that. That's absolutely perfect, huh? So the harvester's a bit dirty, so we'll probably just leave it out to get a bit of a washing, as it's already been out in the rain anyway, so versus tucking it away, we will tuck it away. But I wonder if there's a small opportunity that we can use it for some sort of contract in the next month, because to be honest, I'm not 100% certain of what we'll actually get up to in September, because we won't be drilling anything in necessarily. I think everything that we're going to try and drill in would be done in the spring. Right, so as I said, I am just going to leave. I'm not going to dump this straight away. I'm just going to leave it here for now. You know what, actually, in fact, oh my word, see, the brakes are a bit touchy. I do need to be conscientious of that. Crikey. Right, what I'm going to do is, before we crack on, because luckily now we're done the harvest, so we've got 2 fields here that are ready to be worked in. fully harvested, which is grand. We do have a cultivator, so that might be something that we get cracking on with in this next month. But what I really want to look at is the logistics here of putting an apple orchard here. Now, I feel like that's going to be quite a big space, because if you look... Nah, but it's fine, because we want to do apples. I really want to do apples. I'm very keen to do apples. Now, we do have this space here behind, but I don't know what's all over here. Let's have a look. Just a bunch of trees. Olive trees. Right, so after closer inspection, because I did want to have a look, but they are just decorative trees, which is absolutely fine. The reason I was even looking at them in the first place was because I thought of the logistics of potentially cutting them down to make way for an apple orchard, which I don't think I'll do. I quite like the look of them anyways, but also it's just a bit tight in here, I think, to try and put in an apple orchard. I mean, there is decent space, but yeah, it's just with this wall here and everything, I feel like it would be a bit more limiting. So I think we'll leave them there for now. We won't go cutting them down. But I also think that is the end of August. So we'll take the baler to the shop, get it returned, and then we'll be ready to crack on to September. Good morning and welcome to a beautiful September morning. As we can see, we've got the sunrise coming, and this is our beautiful... we walk out our front door and this is what we see. Absolutely stunning. Right. Let's crack on with the day. I know it's still early in the day, but I think we may have lots on for the day. So, I reckon that our bales had plenty of time to dry out. Oh, and you can see we've got some weeds in the field, but that's fine. We will sort that out as well. So I have returned the baler, which is really good. Happy to have done that. It was good service, and I was very tempted to actually keep it for another month to do some baling contracts, but I don't want to overdo the baling, especially since we just did a lot of it in the last two episodes, to be honest, so including this one. Harvesting contracts, though, possible. Very possible that we can set up even a helper on them to get a bit of extra cash in. Now, speaking of cash in, I'm very tempted to look into the logistics of a cash crop. I don't know exactly what. Aside from soybeans, I don't know. I mean, canola is definitely on that list. So we'll just go up to here and have a look and see. As I was saying before, potentially having the logistics of leasing out a production could be quite interesting as well, which is why I'm a bit more tempted to crack on with grain, which I know would mean more bales, more straw bales, but that is fine. Maybe we can find ourselves another baler. Actually, in fact, I think I might have added in another or a modded baler that we could use. I didn't. I have one ready though. A couple actually. They're not... I don't think they do 150 bales, but that's fine. But we'll look at all that in the future here, because I would like to look at the logistics of leasing out a production, but also doing an actual cash crop, like a soybean or something like that. So I don't think we'll do anything this month with this field. So we'll probably lime it, get it ready, because as you can see, the pH and the nitrogen are both lacking. So pH will be able to increase that with some lime. So we do have a few mods that we can use for that. And then we do have our... I think this is a 2-in-1 bit of kit, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the bottom bit here is a subsoiler, and then we pair that with the fertilizer tank at the top. Now, having those together will be very useful for when we actually get into the field to do our necessary work for using precision farming. But now I do just want to confirm that we can put in, so we can fertilize the crop, but if I'm not mistaken, with precision farming, right, where are we going here? With precision farming, we actually are increasing the nitrogen based on the... Oh, I thought I bought these. I thought I purchased the field information. No, I'm 1,000% certain that I did. Why does it allow us to purchase it again? No, I have done. I don't know why. Oh, no, none to sample. Okay, that threw me off. I thought it was saying you had to buy the samples again. Anyways, now if I'm hoping I'm remembering this correctly, but don't we need to fertilize once we've got a crop in, which would kind of defeat the purpose of this and its ability to fertilize and cultivate at the same time. Now again, I could be mistaken on that, but also being 130 horsepower plus an additional 50 horsepower will make it very difficult with this Fiat, which again makes me feel as though it might be a smart move to upgrade it to the medium-sized Fiat in the same sort of family. So I think that might be something that we do. Now, this episode is being recorded before the last episode's published, so I think in the last episode is when I put that question out, and now I will follow up with another question. For precision farming, can we still cultivate and fertilize at the same time, or should we be fertilizing once the crop is drilled into the ground? Now, I know I'm getting myself a little mixed up. I suppose we could have a cheeky peek here at the just to see what we get information-wise for precision farming. Now, I think there's a thing for precision farming in here. Maybe not. There is not. Okay, that's fine. I'm just getting myself confused at this point, I think. Right, now, I also saw up here, there's a storage. 250. Now, is that for bales? Because now, if that is, I do feel a touch silly that we have been fretting. Let me just quickly get... nope, interactive zones on. Right. Right, okay, hang on a minute. So I'm thinking that we can actually store bales up there. And then if we come over here, this will allow us to manage it once there's something in there. Crikey, well that is interesting. What I think that means for us then is that we can actually store bales. So that would have been good to have noticed initially, but I always forget. I always forgot how amazing the custom trigger points are from the EdoMod maps. So that's probably something I should have mentioned as well in the first look, because I always forget about interactive zones because I always play with them off unless I need them for this kind of instance. So now that we have this and know about that, well, happy days, because then we can take our bales and stick them up there. Yeah, this also shows here where we can get animals. This is where we feed the animals. This is where the animal products will go, so the eggs will go here. We've got management point, that's for our wardrobe, and then up here you'll see the sleeping point, yep. And then I reckon around the corner we'll see the storage point for the silo. There we go, grain unloading, grain loading. So wicked. Right, well that's sorted. Now we can turn those back off. As lovely as they are, I do like to play with them off for the most part. So, I think the first things first is we need to get something that we can move these bales. Now that we know that we can do that, we need to shift the bales. Now, do I want to get a full-on loader for that? I don't think so, because bales are not a primary function, and any sort of telehandler or anything like that will be expensive. So I'm really hoping that if I were to get another tractor that it can reach, basically. But I think if we get the Landini, as I want to do, I think it can reach up there no problem. So that's something we'll have to try, because if I'm not mistaken as well, this Fiat does not allow for... Oh, it does. Okay, so that's the option then. Now we've got some choices here. So yes, what I think we'll do is... What do you reckon? I think, personally, it makes more sense to buy the Landini to do the loading, and then replace this tractor with this tractor, because it is cheaper and it has more power. Now, again, I do love the other Fiat, it's wicked, but something about this just is kind of calling to me, and I don't think I'd want to replace it with anything else. Like, there's no other tractors that we can, well, that afford as well, because this, at least, if we were to replace it, so basically straight across replacement, and then upgrade, well, not upgrading, but buying the Landini and attaching a front loader. But I know it's quite small, but it should still work. I mean, it still has, you know, I think it still has the power it needs to load bales. Now, again, we do have the larger frame of these tractors and the small frame, but also the larger frame of these tractors, which again is very interesting to me as well. And yes, somebody did explain that the difference here is the fuel tank, and I didn't see it changing. As you can see, it doesn't, but obviously it gets bigger. Wait, where's the actual change here? Well, these ones don't, do they? No, never mind. See, these ones don't, so I'm not sure. It's just a horsepower increase on these ones, and manual to electro-hydraulic converter. Wicked. Yeah, we would probably go for the Lamborghini or something. But anyways, I am very keen on the Landini, as I've said 1,000 times, and possibly the upgrade from this to this. It's virtually the same tractor, just bigger. So I think that logistically makes the most sense. But because if we keep this, then we might as well put a front loader on it. But I'm still actually more keen to sell it, buy the Landini, and then load our bales that way. So we have a few options, and I think we will look into the logistics of leasing up production. So I know I've rambled on this basically whole September morning, and now we're at 7 a.m. already, and we've got things to do. But look at it, beautiful day, absolutely stunning day, so we will take advantage of it. Right, so let's look at, just before we do crack on with things, let's look at two things. One, possible contracts. Look at all these harvesting contracts that are available now to us. Some of them are quite massive. Oh no, that's veg. We don't want to do that. We want to do what we can with what we have, which would be, that's also massive. Actually, no, we can do these because we can rent out the kit. Hello, completely, but I just don't want to. not yet. Not with veg. Not just yet. Yeah, these are all basically. There's only one that's an actual harvesting contract, and it's ridiculously massive. Mowing, we don't have any of that kit. I would like to do... Oh, that would be good to use that for the first time, and it's just a quick mowing job. So maybe we can look in doing a bit of a contract as well. But what I wanted to look at was the mill, and so let's go visit it. So we have the option to buy it for way too much money, but we also have the option to lease it for £1,000 a day. Now, I wouldn't necessarily do that until we had everything we need. Well, I suppose we do. Okay. But chickens. Right, okay, we've got so much going on here at the moment. I'm a bit scattered, so let's refocus on what we have. So I don't think we'll faff with any contracts because I want to get things started. Here, we have room for 720 litres of food. If we were to fill this up with chickens, then that's sorted. But the chickens go through food very slowly. But we are using realistic livestock, which means we might be going through them quicker. I love how some of them have names as well. That's quite good. Yeah, this is all something that I think we can also look at in the future. Lazy Umbra. Right, I also don't understand. I mean, I see what it says, but I don't understand why. So let's look at the age here. Is it cheaper because they're not good chickens? They're misbehaving chickens. 6 months. These ones look 5 months. So we are paying quite a bit more for better quality. But vanilla is rubbish. That's actually quite wild eye, sorry. Right, we don't need any cockerels because we don't really have the room to produce any. See, is this so poor because it's young? Right. I mean, I've looked into the livestock, the realistic livestock mod, but maybe I need to have another proper look at it. But anyways, I think that's where we're going to leave this episode for today, because as I've said, we definitely have done. It's just there's a lot going on, and I really want to set up a good start to the series. So my plan in the future here is to do apples, but we can't do that until March. Also, leasing out productions, which I do want to do, but logistically makes the most sense to lease out the mill, the grain mill, because if we're going to do more grain and we've got a load of wheat, yes, we have chickens, but we don't really have to worry about them for food. So we can find a nice balance of keeping some food for them, but also using some for flour. We would have to sell the flour straight on, not convert it, unless we did lease out the pasta factory as well. So that's another option. Like I said, heaps of options on this amazingly beautiful map. So anything we do will be wonderful. It's just a matter of getting things started. So yeah, let me know your suggestions. Should we upgrade the Fiat? Should we get the Landini? So I'll probably wait to record the next episode until I get some more feedback on that. But please do share your feedback. It's always appreciated, really is. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the episode. I know, again, a bit scattered, but at least here we are now in September, and we can really dig in and crack on with this beautiful, beautiful map. If you've enjoyed the episode, cheeky thumbs up always does help out the channel, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Till the next one, though, please do take care, and bye for now.